The brand store is less effective if you just plonk everything up there and hope that people will just buy stuff. So if you're selling other people's brands, you cannot create your own brand store. If you're selling other people's brands, they may appear on someone else's brand store, but you can't create it unless you're the brand owner. Brand stores are great ways for making your product discoverable, but it's not a website. So no one's really going to go to your brand store unless you're paying for people to know that you have a brand store. So this is why brand stores, oftentimes companies that we're working with say, can we have a brand store? Because they're thinking in terms of a website. We want to showcase our entire range. On Amazon, the brand store has to really come last after you've made sure that your product pages are right. And when we create a brand store, we need to budget for some pay-per-click to show that people should go to it. So I'm going to give you an example here with a famous popcorn brand that is in the UK called Joe and Seth's. Loads of different brands come up, Propercorn, which you might have heard of, Maize and Grace. But Joe and Seth's is a major premium popcorn brand in the UK, find it in Waitrose. Joe and Seth's are doing a sponsored brand ad for the word popcorn. So up here, they're running a sponsored ad. And if you click anywhere, it will send you to Joe and Seth's brand store. So the key point here is the brand store exists, but people aren't going to find it unless it comes up in an ad, because most people on Amazon will search for an answer to their problems. They're not going to browse brand stores. So if we put in brand stores, what we have is Joe and Seth's brand stores at Christmas and at Easter, so last week. They're paying for people to discover their brand store. So brand store, always with pay-per-click, and then they're updating it on a seasonal basis. This is quite a good example because a lot of companies don't put that effort in, but we can see that Joe and Seth's had popcorn Easter eggs last week, whatever that is, the mind is boggled, and they had popcorn advent calendars just before Christmas. Great way to get your stuff discovered, but everything else has to come first before we start paying money at this, because what you don't want is to pay for people to get to the brand store, click on something in the brand store, and then they didn't convert because they didn't understand why the product would solve their problems. With the brand store, Joe and Seth's is a really great example because it gives lots of different areas of, we could click on the caramel sauce, we could click on the popcorn, there's some special seasonal items. They're doing a really great job on that. The brand store is less effective if you just plonk everything up there and hope that people will just buy stuff. So here's an example with the coffee. It doesn't look so good. It doesn't look so good. We're not quite sure why we should click on different coffee machines. It doesn't look so attractive. So again, brand store should be something you do right at the end. And it's worth investing money in a designer or somebody that can really make that space work for you. People aren't going to land on the brand store unless you're running ads, unless you're North Face. But most of the time, Amazon is keyword search. People will then go on a product page and they're unlikely to click on a brand store unless you're running a brand ad.